All right, we are live. Really sorry, guys. Just want to say, by the way, can you guys hear me? I want to know in the chat. I know a lot of you who were in the stream earlier, it's kind of disappeared because I've had these audio issues. Apologies, but StreamYard is being very annoying. It just will not allow me to connect my audio. I'm not sure what's going on. So, can you? Hello, guys. Hello, Ryman. I'm just wondering if you guys can hear me. One sec. Got that. Let me know. I'm just checking with the streams. Everything's running okay. All right, you guys can see me. You can hear me. All good. How are we doing? How are we doing today? Spurs got their win on the weekend. We're all happy. We're going to be going through a bit about the weekend. We're going to be going through some of the fan forum, all that kind of stuff. Hello, everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is doing well. This is a kind of a new show that we're going to try and bring you kind of weekly on an evening because it's kind of a slot which we feel we don't really have. So we're going to try and do that. Maybe it's going to be a little less structured. It's going to be a lot more interaction with you guys. It's going to be a bit more chilled at home. Is the audio okay, guys? I just want to know. I want to know how the audio is going because for some reason the Yeti just, I don't know, the StreamYard is just being a bit of a dick, so wouldn't let me connect. I don't know why, but I don't know how all you guys are doing. Lone Ranger says, yeah, we can hear you. David says, hello, mate. Francis, oh, big up Frank. He said audio is good. Okay, nice one. All right. Well, this is going to, first of all, just to say this kind of show, I've got a few things I want to talk about and a few things, good evening, everyone, a few things that we'll go through and we'll look at. But I also want you to kind of guide the show. You can ask me questions. If you want me to react to anything, we can react to it. So, real talk with Sims is right, exactly. So feel free to kind of get involved, have your say, put in the chat exactly what you want me to talk about. If there's anything interesting that you want my opinion on or you want me to react to, there's any video on YouTube, anyone's giving opinions or anything that you think is an opinion I should react to, any tweets or stuff like that, do send them in or put them on a DM or something, and we'll see how this goes. But yeah, there's a few things already that people have already sent. So I guess we could react to that and we could see how it goes. First of all, I guess let's talk about a bit the fan forum stuff because the fan forum happened yesterday night. Big up Brian Daigle, come on in the chat. Good evening to him. Got 71 people watching. Hope everyone is doing well tonight. A lot of people have been talking about the fan forum. Let's get some of these quotes up because a lot of people have been talking about Daniel Levy's responses in the fan forum, talking about his best achievements at Tottenham in his 21 years in charge was the Champions League final, the stadium, and all the amazing players. I've had a bit of time to think about that response. One sec. Raymond says, "Hi, Sim, sitting in your presence. Nice topic. Keep up the good work." Big up to you, Raymond. And I feel like the fact that he's said his last proud achievements, all the good players he's brought in at Tottenham. I kind of feel like he's been put on the spot and hasn't come up with a good answer. And I feel like people look at it and think as if he's had these questions initially and he's come away and these are the top three things he's had. And I know people say he neglected to mention the trophy, and that is true. Trophies, does it go to show his mindset about trophies are priority for him or are they not? I think that is a fair comment for people to say about that response for Daniel Levy. But I think, first of all, the stadium was his brainchild, wasn't it? So I think he's always going to put that in his top 3, wherever people want to say. But if you look at the stadium, it is a monumental achievement, not just like from a sports club wise, but like architecturally, just the design of it, everything, and it's going to really improve Tottenham for the future. So I can understand him putting that in the top 3. Obviously, the Champions League final, getting to that's like the pinnacle of European football, and like that was imagine telling a Tottenham fan when Daniel Levy took over that would be getting to a Champions League final. So I understand him putting that in the top 3. And then obviously the other one is not a good answer. What the best players? Why is that? I don't know why that's a good achievement. I kind of feel like maybe he was thinking about what to say, and he didn't really come up with anything. So he's like, good players, I guess. I think maybe because he was put on the spot, he didn't. He just maybe it slipped his mind that he actually has won a trophy. Maybe he's forgotten about that. But I thought people are making a lot out of it, obviously. But I think this is a good. Was someone asked me this question on Twitter. Let me get it up. If you want to send me anything, we've got a post on Twitter. You can send it to me, and I'll react to it. Where was it? Fire in the eyes. They say, why is our fan base so obsessed with every little word Ange or Levy says? It's obviously comes filtered. So why take everything they say literally? I think it's because from Levy's point of view, we hear so little from him that the little that we do hear, we're just clinging on to every word he says, and we've got to take it as like that's what he means. So I think I can understand from Levy's point of view. I think Ange, because Ange, a lot of his stock is taken into what he says because of he's very philosophical. Spurs fans take in a lot of stock of what he says is because what he says is very much implemented on the pitch in terms of, all out attack. That's who we are, mate. We're always going to be that attacking team. And so because I don't see much contradiction from what Ange says, to what I see on the pitch, I think that's why a lot of people take a lot of stock in what Ange says and they cling on to every word because he does seem to be very truthful. So when he says something, I think people listen. I think that's a big reason. So I think that was a good question from the fire in the eyes. There's a few other things, I guess. I don't know if there's been any clips actually. Does anyone know if the fan forums come out, the video yet? Because we've been waiting for that. Big up to William. Big up to you. We love you too. Audio is good and clear. Thank you, everyone. What else is? I said Brian. We got him up already. Borough fan in the chat. Big up to you. Says, could you maybe do another Spurs career mode series again? I enjoyed them. Well, maybe. FC25's just come out, so don't rule it out. Maybe we get something we could look into in the future. Ben Simeone making a return. We did win the Europa League, so that could be a good omen. Legend Sim says, internet guy. Hi, nice sitting in. Oh, yeah, we did that one already. Liston Hines says, don't you think Agent Kulu and Agent Bergval can make Gyökeres move possible? Same boyhood club, know each other very well. Good friends since way back. I would love to think that Spurs are the kind of club that would drop 65 million on Solanke and then drop another whatever it cost to got Gyökeres 70, 80 million. But I don't think it's a case of getting Kulusevski and Bergval on the case. It's more of a case of Tottenham wanting to spend that kind of money. As long as we have Richarlison on our books with him, I doubt we're going to be going big for another striker. But if Richarlison leaves, maybe we'll make room and maybe we'll consider it. But I can't see that happening. Big up. I see. I actually don't like it when people call me Simi. I don't like some people do. I don't know. It just seems a bit kiddie. I'm more of a Sim. I don't know about Simi. Like something like a distant auntie or something might call me, or a friend who doesn't know me that well. But big up to you, Alex. I love you anyway. David Domaluski, do you believe that we are a better side than Man United right now? I do. I think we're more controlled. I think we control games better. Yes, some people have seen looked kind of the stats, and they've shown that United kind of have a higher XG at the moment. They've missed a lot of big chances, but I don't think that they have as much control in games. I think we control games a lot better. We concede less chances than them. And yes, we've had a bit of trouble creating good quality chances. Hopefully that's changing opposed to Brentford game. But yeah, I do think we are a better side than Man United. Individually, you could argue I think individually, I still think we are better. I think keeper, I'm more comfortable with Vicario than Onana. I like Onana. I think the back four, I don't know if any of their back four get in. I don't know if I'd swap any of their back four for ours, to be honest. I'm pretty happy with ours. Maybe Mazraoui. I like Mazraoui, but does he get in ahead of Porro or Doggy? Maybe right now, just because they're a bit younger. Mazraoui's got a bit more experience. So maybe he comes in at right back potentially, but that's 50-50. I'm taking Romero and Van de Ven over De Ligt and Martinez, in my opinion. Middle three. So we've got Basuma, Maddison, and Kulusevski. They've got Bruno, Ugarte, and who else are getting in their middle three? Eriksen. I'm guessing Eriksen's been the one playing at the moment. I think Bruno, Maddison, you might take Bruno, potentially, albeit I think Maddison, when they're both at their best, might be better. I'm taking Kulusevski over Eriksen right now, and Ugarte or Basuma. Oh, Mainu, yeah, Kobe Mainu. I think I'm still taking Deki over Mainu right now. As much as I think Mainu's class, I think Deki's just a bit better, a bit more physical. And then Ugarte or Basuma. Who am I taking? Probably Basuma until Ugarte proves that he's better. I think I'm taking Basuma because Ugarte's not been great last year. He was really good before that. I didn't have the best copper. He's definitely flattered to deceive. He's definitely flattered to deceive at PSG. That's why they got him. So I would say I'm going to go with Basuma there. And front three, Rashford or Son. I'm going Son, Brennan, or who's their right with Brennan? Or definitely not Anthony. Who's their right with Garnacho? I guess Garnacho. And then up front, I'm taking Solanke over. I'm going to take Solanke over Xerxes or Højlund, in my opinion. No reason why I wouldn't. Why would I take Xerxes over any of them? So Spurs, I think, do have a better team individually, I would argue, for sure. So looking forward to the game on Sunday for sure. Who's this Ian guy? I don't know what he's on one, it looks like. The deck he had, I love Kulusevski, big up. Me too. If we had Garnacho and Ahmad, we'd be dangerous. Yeah, I think our Garnacho would be quite good in our system. And Diallo, I like Diallo. I feel like he's still a bit lightweight potentially, Ahmad Diallo, and I think but the thing is, he's still quite young. He's definitely been growing over the past couple of years. Really good at Sunderland, and last few games I've seen since he's come to the Man United team, last season, he's really starting to improve. But still something missing from him. So I have to wait. And see if he can make that extra step. But he's definitely got a lot of potential. What else are people saying here? Mile High Hotspur Sim. I'll be back in November. Hope to see you at the ground again. Much love. Nice one. Hope to see you in November, mate. Seth says Sim out. Well, you're in the wrong stream then. Big up to Simoth. Big up to you. Haven't heard that one. Hey Sim, how's it going? Talk to me about Kulu and Solanke. What do you expect from them on Thursday as well at Old Trafford? Thursday, you know what? I would start Solanke on Thursday. If someone asked me what would be how many changes do I make on Thursday, so I'll probably go into that. Go into my opinion. I think I would start Solanke on Thursday just to get more minutes into his belt. We saw how that helped Udogie 45 minutes. I think he played 45 minutes against Coventry, and he really looked like he was back to his full match fitness against. He was back to his full match fitness against Brentford on Saturday. So by that logic, I think I'd go for Solanke up front. Also, if he can get that goal, continue the confidence he's getting, I'll start him. I'll probably keep Brennan on the right as well because I want him to. I want his confidence to continue because he's got 2 goals in 2 games now after everything that he was going through. So I think if he can, get another confidence booster against Carabao, it would be beneficial. People won't like to say it, but I probably would start Werner on the left or Mikey Moore if we're convinced Mikey Moore is ready to start. But maybe I'd probably go Mikey Moore. But if he's not convinced Moore's ready to start, I would rest Son and play Werner. I think Son needs a rest. Midfield 3, definitely go Bergvall. I would go Bentancur if he's going to face a ban. I'll probably start him again, to be honest, because he's probably going to be our Thursday night number 6. So I guess, I'm going to say the same middle 3 as against Coventry, but it didn't do us well against Coventry. So I don't know if that's the right decision, but I might have to do that. Same middle 3. Sarr needs minutes. Bergvall has to start. So I'm going to go the same middle 3 as Coventry. Back 4, Gray, Dragoshin. I guess the doggy has to play. Or we could go Ben Davies and Van de Ven, potentially, one of the middle 2, but I don't think we need the centre-back. So why risk them if we don't need them? And I'll probably go Vicario. I reckon Vicario has been tasked with the European game, so I reckon he's going to start Vicario. Problem is, with no Jed Spence, if we had Jed Spence, I'd start Spence on the left and play Davis centre-back, but we don't have Spence, so it's a bit of a pickle what we do there. Because I'll go Gray, Dragoshin, Davis, and then don't know. Do I go Davis in there and then a doggy? Do I start a doggy? Or basically, do I want to start a doggy with Van de Ven? I guess a doggy and give him 45 minutes, maybe something like that. So because we can't play Spencer, similar team to what we saw against Coventry, which people won't be happy with, I guess. Big up to Grandpa watching at home. Big up to him. Hope he's doing well. Thank you. Appreciate you watching as always, Grandpa. Call in if you want. Come join the stream. We can have a chat. What else have people been asking? We've got some more things, things to react to. Let's see what people are saying on Twitter. There was this clip I saw from Richarlison not too happy.
Fucking shit. Hey, FIFA, this is fucking shit card. Fucking shit.
You know what, real? I mean, I feel bad for Richie because he actually did quite well last year.
Shit.
Can you hear that, by the way? Is audio coming through on the share screen? I want to know. Let me know in the comments. Please get Grandpa on. He's a legend. Big up, Sim. 1 sec. What are your thoughts? Spurs ladies big win against Palace. Well, okay, good. So, by the way, I was just going to say on Richarlison, I can understand he's frustrated because his score probably hasn't gone up at all. It hasn't probably gone up at all. Let's zoom in a bit and see what it says. It's 77 pace. Zoom in a bit. So 80 shooting, 73 passing, 80 dribbling, 78 physicality, 53 defensive. I can understand his frustration because he probably wanted a bit of improvement after what he got. 12 goals last season, but injuries have cost him. And look, you need to get him back on the pitch and start scoring goals if you want a better rating. That's the thing. Big up to everyone in the chat at the moment. 81 is too high. Sef Sim, you are him. 8 terrible. I'm sure his potential in the game is 87 or something. Richie is trash. I'm a big fan of Richie. People know watching the channel know I'm a big fan of his, and I really think I was really excited about him and Solanke coming into the season. We're going to have 2 strikers, and I think that was going to be a really good thing. And we know Richarlison could get Premier League goals. Solanke obviously will be starting, but give it and have Richarlison competition, and to have two strikers as well, to also potential to go two up top some games. I thought that was really good. But Richarlison being injured again is really bad news, and maybe we'll give Lancashire a chance because him and Mikey Moore left out the squad today for the under-21. So we'll see how that goes. If they get any game time, I'll be very interested. Someone sent me this video of Jamie O'Hara saying they need to find a new winger. So let me see. Let me see if I can share this. And maybe we can. 1 sec. Let me switch to my personal account because I got YouTube Premium for you guys who are wondering. YouTube Premium is brilliant. If you watch as much YouTube as me, that is. So I think you should definitely get it because no ads. And I love life with no ads. It's just such a waste of life. I watch so much YouTube. Let me see if I can share screen. And we can react to what Jamie O'Hara is saying here, if people want that. I haven't seen this video, so I'm going into this absolutely blind. Let's see what Jamie O'Hara has to say. Well, maybe we'll watch the whole thing. I don't know what he has to say about Son.
People, I said it a little bit earlier, like we need to realise where Son is at.
He's got to score. Well, he's got to shoot. I don't know why he's trying to take it around the keeper.
Oh, Son, prime Son.
How
do you feel about Sonny?
I think we're
I feel
coming
like
to the
I'm
end.
over the hill with him.
We're coming to the end, and I think people need to understand.
He's 32. Any player who's 32, you're going to be coming to the end. Like they're obviously at the end of their career. I mean, he's still a world-class player. He actually put an amazing performance, I thought, against Brentford. Didn't get the credit, but yeah, he's coming to the end. But anyone who's 32, they're not at the start of their career, are they? So I still think he's got so much to give. But come on,
I just think the fans and everyone's finished with him.
Really?
No, I don't think they're as finished as me.
Jamie O'Hara. The fans are finished with Son. This guy calls himself a Tottenham fan. He thinks he's got his finger on the pulse with what Spurs fans are thinking. He thinks the fans are finished with Son. Come on, Jamie. You're much better than that, man. You're much better than that. This is a guy who last season got 27 goal contributions. This season, I think he's still our top goal contributor. He's got 2 goals. He's got 2 assists. He's the player at the moment in the Premier League who's created the most chances from open play. Yes, that's a bit skewed because he's 7 of them were in one game against Brentford, but still. But to say the fans are finished with him, what's he trying to say? We're done with him. We want him gone. We're turned toxic against on. Does he go? He clearly hasn't been in the stadium or doesn't go to games. What is he chatting about? Absolute rubbish. The fans are finished with Son. Honestly, I can understand why someone sent me this video. It's wound me up now.
Maybe you and I might.
Real proper fans.
Oh yeah, if you can see it, that aren't
really
hanging on to what Son.
He's not. You can't do it, mate.
I say the last 18 months, Son isn't where Son is. And again, I think he got 17 goals last season. A lot of those came late on in games where defenses were tired. In terms of actually being effective and beating a man, he's not Son.
What? A lot of those goals came last season when late on in games. What is that opinion? I'm a big fan of Abby. I've got no problem with Abby, but I'm just going to fact check this. I'm going to fact check this because I don't know if that's true at all. At all. A lot of his goals. Let me see this. Let me fact check this because I'm not having slander on my son. I'm not having even it's from a Spurs fan. Let me see. Last season, I don't remember too many at all that became late in games from Son. Let me see this from last season from Sonny. First of all, why would that even matter? I don't know why that's a thing. But last season, let me see. When I'm trying to remember how many late goals he scored because I remember he got the hat-trick against Burnley. 1 sec. Last season, he scored against Liverpool. That was late, but yeah, it was 4-2. Fair enough. He scored against Luton. That was a late goal. That was like 85 minutes. Villa. I guess yeah, they were 2 late goals. Maybe she does. Maybe she does have a bit of a point. Palace. That was a late goal. Okay, but at the end of the season, they were quite late. She has a point, but I think the beginning of the season, hat-trick against Burnley. They were not. That wasn't late. 2 against Arsenal. They weren't late. Fulham. That wasn't a late goal. Man City. That was in the first half. Newcastle. Penalty. Everton. That was first half. Bournemouth. That was first half. No, that was second half actually. Yeah, there was a few late goals, but I don't think that should take away from Son just because they've scored some late goals. Anyway, he wasn't effective. I mean, he got 17 goals and 10 assists. Doesn't really get more effective than that. It doesn't really matter when they are. All right, let's see.
And I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with admitting that.
That's fine. It just surprises me.
What was it, Jay, about Son? Do you think maybe the pace is gone, just the quality in the final third?
Yeah, quality in the final third. He's 33. Like, is he going to go past people? Is it, he's a great. Look, listen, he's been a great player, an unbelievable player.
Great, yeah.
Tottenham, great. He is, right? But I just feel like when I watch him now, I'm like, what are you actually? You've got that sharpness and that edge to your game. I just don't know if he has. I mean, he's gone.
Most chances created from open play in the Premier League. That's what he does. Got 2 goals against Everton. What are these guys chatting? I understand he's had his troubles, the new position being a touchline winger, and I agree. Maybe that's not his best position, but to say like, what does he do? Like all this nonsense. He does so much on the pitch. He's still very creative. He's still got so much quality. Heung-min Son, and even at 32, this guy's going to rack up the goal contributions this season. 100%. We saw on the weekend how effective he can be when he takes up those positions. So all this rubbish about what does he do, all this nonsense, like I don't understand what they're watching, because he still offers so much, and they're acting like this guy's just washed up, finished, like doesn't do anything. Like they're talking absolute nonsense.
Through there clean one-on-one. And
do you think there's
an
other
old
option?
Sonny? That's guaranteed.
So if you're building your best Spurs 11, do you think
anyone can miss chances? I've seen Haaland miss. How many open goals did Haaland miss last season? Does that mean he's washed up and finished? No, players miss chances. He didn't do well with that chance on the weekend, Son, but people are really using that with a stick to beat him with. I really feel that, because yes, Son has usually 6 throws away, but I really don't think just because he did miss that chance, that means he's finished now. Like he's, as I say, he's still creating loads of chances. He laid on a plate so many chances on the weekend for his teammates. He was being very, very selfless. So I don't understand that.
You think you're at a point now to take him out of the team, or is it hard to do that because he's captain and stuff?
No, you can't take him out of the team because I don't think there's someone better than him.
Yeah, Johnson's not better
but
than him.
I think we've got to start looking at a new left winger.
Without a doubt. And that's where, when I said it earlier about Eze, someone like that comes in, and then you're seeing the difference in the 2 players. That's not to say Son hasn't been an unbelievable servant, but that's just calling it for what it is, where someone is at in their career.
I'm not sure about Eze,
No, you don't.
I don't disagree with that. That we need to start looking at the future. Son is 32, and obviously, Heung-min's coming, got Odebear. So these are players who do play off the left and maybe do have a future. Maybe when Son's ready to hang up his boots or leave Tottenham, hopefully in a few years' time, when he's really not got anything left to give, then these players will be ready to step up. But right now, I think Spurs are doing that. Obviously, I want a top-class winger to come in. I'm always looking for improvement. But I like to say he needs to come out of the team now and all this stuff. Like, this guy is still going to get goal contributions this season. He's going to get loads of goals. He's going to get loads of assists. We just need to find the right adjustments for him to tactically to get the best out of him. And that's no shame in that. I think, most players, there's a lot of good players who you need to play to their strengths. And we're not playing to Sonny's strengths at the moment, but he's still doing stuff. As someone just posted, he got 4 goal contributions in 5 games. I mean, it's not a bad start to the season. David saying the negativity around Son needs to stop. There is so much unfair criticism. It's not going to help him or the team. He'll be a top 10 playmaker. And judging by at the moment, look, I've never thought his creativity has been his biggest strength, as much as I do think he's creative. But he's clearly showing this season creatively, he's stepping up a lot, and he's getting a lot of key passes. He's creating a lot of chances. So I think Son is still our best attacker by far.
I don't think he benefit and would make Spurs better.
You know, Fulham have doubled their lead. Bournemouth 0.
Was that
Did you feel for him last week?
And that's probably more where he beat a man.
That's what we signed.
That when he's out on the No, but what we were saying is not necessarily him playing in that middle bit. I think he's better in the middle, Son. I think when he's out on the wing, I think that's where he gets lost now. Whereas he could take a man on and beat a man.
That's what we signed Brennan Johnson for, though.
That's where Son used to be the best, but now when he's drifting in, that's probably more where he is more effective as the game goes on. Brennan Johnson, really happy for him, by the way.
Great.
Did you feel for him last week? Did he get too much?
I don't disagree with that. I don't prefer him as a striker as much. Certain games I do. I think he can be a really effective striker. But I do think he's at his best when he's kind of drifting it from the left into central areas, into space, blind side of the defender. Obviously, he's at his most effective when he's playing when he's got space in front of him in transitions as well. Very effective transitional player. We've seen that. So, and he's starting to do a lot more playmaking. So, he's never been. I think he's been obviously when he was younger, and you know he had a bit more like relentlessness about him when he was taking people on. I feel like now he just picks his moments. A bit like against Arsenal, you saw like when he picks his moments to take on Ben White, he beat him a couple times, but he can't like. There are some players, you look at Neto, he can just relentlessly like take on his man, like you know do it. Someone like, even like Odegaard, you see there are players out there who just do it relentlessly. Son's not at that stage of his career, he can do that. I never felt like he was the best dribbler in the world, to be honest, even at his best. But because he had a bit more relentless nature about him, he used to beat his man a lot more often than he does now. Now he's being smarter. But at 32, doesn't surprise me.
Fair stick, do you think
he's had a lot of unfair stick, I think, since he signed him.
Yeah, but you pay £50 million for someone.
Big money.
You got to expect stick.
I agree.
Like you can't be weak mentally as a football player, right? You have to be strong, right? It's a tough one. You play for Spurs, you got to produce week in, week out, and if you don't, you're going to get stick. Every footballer takes stick, and you just got it's part and parcel of playing at the.
Great playmaking for career, not selfish. As he gets older, he can do a 10 roll. Defender gets tight on him because of shots, will open space for teammates. Yeah, and that's also a good point. Like. Sometimes when teams double up on him, you know, that creates space, and we should be taking advantage of that. What I would say is how we play our wingers and manipulates the pitch so that our wingers get into one-on-one situations. So actually, a lot of the time, Son has the opportunity to run his defenders, but I don't know if he doesn't feel like he can anymore, or he just can't, or I don't know, but he doesn't. Could he do the number 10 role? The problem I do have with that is I do think he could be a number 10. But we don't really play with number 10s. We play with 2 number 10s, but I don't think he could play the number 10 role how we play it, because off the ball they're 8s essentially, and on the ball they're 10s. Now, I don't doubt Son could maybe be a 10 on the ball. Could he be an 8 off the ball? That's a question. So it's the way we play. I don't know if that would putting him like where, let's say, Maddison or Decky plays. I don't know if he could do that, to be honest, because he would have to be a lot better defensively off the ball. Not to say he doesn't work hard, but, you know, these guys are central midfielders a lot stronger. So I don't know if he could be, a 10 like Maddison or Decky in our system. But I do think in general he can be a 10. Yeah, I do agree with that.
The top, you're on a lot of money. You know, people, and you're ready to get shot at. So Brennan Johnson's got to be a little bit like tough. He's got to be thicker skinned, I think, because he's a good player, and we signed him for £50 million, and he hasn't quite done the business yet. And when you come with that price tag, you got to do the business, especially at Tottenham. So when you're feeling like he's deactivated his Instagram, well, you know what? Good, because he don't need it. Don't need Instagram. You know, he's not an influencer. He's a professional football player. Concentrate on your game and score goals. And no coincidence that He's deactivated his Instagram
goals in
account.
2 games,
He scored
right?
2 goals. You know, like, because you go, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to do the business. I'm going to show you. And if he sticks the middle finger up to the fans, great.
Yeah.
Fair play, son.
You
I've
actually
got no
want- you
problem
want
with
a
that.
bit of that. You want a bit
I've
of
got
the
no
bite,
problem with that
like-
whatsoever.
you
Stick
think-
your middle finger up and go, yeah, I'm going to show you and I'm going to do the.
Yeah, but there's a difference between getting abuse and criticism. So I understand what he's saying, and I don't think it's just because he had to deactivate his Instagram, which is why he got 2 goals. Like, there's one thing criticizing him and us, giving him a low rating and pay ratings, or even fans, just criticizing his performances. But there's one thing DMing him on Instagram and sending abuse to him. That's just completely not cool for, and it's just a ridiculous thing to do. Like, what kind of person does that? So I don't agree with what he's saying necessarily. I do agree criticism part and parcel. When you've signed for big money at a big club like Tottenham, you're going to get criticism not playing well. And he hasn't this season. Some games hasn't played so well. But when people say he hasn't done his job and things like that, he hasn't done the business. Since he's come in, I think he's got a goal contribution every other game statistically. Last year he got 15 goal contributions. This season, came on against Newcastle, got the equaliser, scored the winner against Coventry, scored against Brentford yesterday. So is he? I wouldn't necessarily say he's definitely not doing the business. Yes, is he the best winger in the world? No. But can he contribute? Is he an effective winger? Can he get goals and assists? Can he do what Ange asked him to do? I think he can. I think he is doing it. And yes, we want him to improve, want him to do more. But I wouldn't sit and say he's not doing the business, because I think he's doing what Ange asks him to. So I think, and I think he's getting goal contributions. Like, he can be effective in this system.
Business for me, not for anyone else. For me,
£50 million was a big price tag.
Yes.
Do you think he's good enough, guys? So long term to maybe be the Son replacement one day, if you like?
No.
He's not Son.
No.
He's never going to be.
Could
Son.
he get to that level?
I don't think so.
I felt like he did improve a little bit towards the back end of last season. This season again, he didn't start off brilliant, but I don't think anybody should have to deactivate their social media because of abuse. That's just my personal thing. So I'm actually really happy with him this week, but he's done that. We got pelters last week. He turned around and he's saying, no, I am good enough. The £50 million price tag is not necessarily his fault.
No, it's definitely not his fault, is it?
He's also a young player. There's a lot of ceiling there. He's growing in this side, and obviously really believes in him. I hope he turns around. I hope he does really well for us. Is he Son? No. Do I think he'll be Son? No. Would I prefer to sign Morgan Gibbs-White?
I don't think who is going to be Son, to be honest. Son is one of the best finishers of Premier League history. I don't think Brennan is the heir to Son's throne or anything like that. What I would say is, what I saw for that finish against Brentford, that was really good technique, very powerful, right into the corner. Really good finish. That was a finish we saw quite often from him with Forest. So when he was at Forest, I think he did really well, like for those kind of finishes. And it reminded me, actually, when I'm not saying he's as good as this player I'm about to mention at all, but it reminded me of when Bale used to hit those shots across the face of goal and just hit the corners. Those goals against Inter Milan, just really effective, getting to that position, getting that yard, and hitting the corner. Brilliant finishes, and so he clearly has good technique and good finish in him. So I think I still think he's got a big future. I think if we can get him, with a bit more variation and train him to get those finishes, I think he could be a very good player. But I don't think he's going to be Son. Son is one of the best finishers in Premier League history. So to ask him to be that, I don't think he's going to do that. But he can still be a very good player in his own right. So
potentially, yeah.
Got to be thick-skinned as a footballer.
How did you deal with it, Jay?
Well, just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? I got booed every week. Deal with it, because as a footballer, you're going to go out there and you're going to showcase your talent. And he's done exactly what you want to do. He's took some stick and he's gone out and scored 2 goals. That says to me, right, I'll come back for you now. You've got some character, you've got mentality. You go, yeah, you know what? You've got something about you. And that's all you want to see. Show me something that you got. Don't fall away and be, weak and scared about, stepping up to the plate and saying, and he's puffed his chest out. Obviously, he's scored 2 goals. Fair play to him.
Yeah, it's just interesting because obviously there is a fine line between criticism from your own fans and stuff, and that is another conversation. But you touched on it there about you've arrived at Morgan Gibbs-White. I think sometimes we forget about how important the system is. Brennan Johnson came from a Nottingham Forest team that was deployed to be playing in a counter-attack, and he was blistering pace, and he didn't have much of the ball. He's now come into a team where Postecoglou's main vision and identity is to control teams and dominate. So he's learning a new style of the game. And sometimes, look, for me in football, I hate price tags, because the reason why I hate price tags is because Evan's right, it's not about how much he's worth, it's about how much he was worth to Nottingham Forest. It's the same way we paid 100 million for Declan Rice. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that any footballer should be worth 100 million, because I don't really agree with. He's now playing in a system where he needs to dominate week in, week out, 60, 70% of possession. He wouldn't start for Arsenal, but there's no, like, Arsenal were looking for a backup right winger. So I wouldn't say Brennan Johnson. Look, it depends what Arsenal fan you ask for. Be good. I don't know if he's got that level yet to go from jumping straight from Forest to Arsenal or even Forest to Tottenham. But if you pay for him, back him and support your players. Like, you know, that's why Arsenal and Arteta was so successful with youth, because we had, like, you know, Joe Willock and like Emil Smith-Rowe and Matteo Guendouzi. These players, look, have left, and some of, like, these players are left, but they were still good players and we still back them. And it comes a time where Spurs are going for challenging for the Premier League, and then you realise, I actually found myself feeling a little bit sorry for James Maddison because of the system. Now, Dominic Solanke's been brought in for £65 million. And like I said about Bournemouth and the electrifying counter-attack that he'd been played under, James Maddison's picking the ball up from deep. And he's got Pedro Porro and Destiny Udogie standing next to him in a straight line. He's also got Rodrigo Bentancur within 5 yards of him. So if you're trying to thread through a pass and bring the best out of James Maddison, something needs to change. And this is where I think Spurs fans under Ange want to see that little bit more of a change in sort of the style and how to get the best out of him. Because if James Maddison gets hooked today after 70 minutes, people will go look and go, okay, Spurs are winning, but what's he actually done? Your system has to bring the best out of your players. Yeah. And that's when, you know, that's why, look, and I don't want to go back to it, but that's why Arteta, his talent ID is sensational, because he sees things that Arsenal fans don't. Some Arsenal fans will even tell you that we didn't even understand why he signed David Raya. And I'll be brutally honest with that. Beat the press over the top. He saw that Raya had...
Ramsdale was fucking average. That's why. I can tell you that. Ange has got very good talent ID. I think that's the end of that video. But Ange has got top talent ID. Van der Ven, Maddison, I think Vicario. I mean, look, people are questioning him alone, but I think he's been a very good signing. You know, he's brought a doggy in. You know, you've got Bergval there. He's put Decky back. He's put Decky in central midfield. You know, I think Solanke is going to be a good signing. Like, we'll have to wait and see about the talent ID. But I think the system that he plays can get the best out of Maddison. He can get the best out of all our good players. I really believe that. It's just going to take a bit of time, a bit of patience. And people already saying that the system doesn't get the best out of our players, I think, is a bit, you know, I think that's jumping the gun a bit, jumping the gun on that front. I think the system that we definitely is tailored to giving some people like Maddison and Kulusevski a lot more space in the centre. That's why you stretch the game. Someone like Porro really excels, I think, in this system. Like, I think definitely someone like Solanke. I think Brennan does get quite a bit out of Brennan, albeit he might be better if we do transitions. But I think Brennan, you know, getting him to the byline, getting him to cutbacks and things like that, I think it does well for him. Son's the one, yeah. I don't think it gets the best out of Son, but I think if he can adjust that tactically, which, you know, there's evidence of that on Saturday. You know, I think for me, I don't think Ange can be. I don't think it's time to question Ange yet whether his system gets the best out of our players. I think it really can, and I think we played well this season. You know, we have played well this season. There is a clip here from let's see this clip. I haven't seen this clip. I'm reacting to it blind. Let's see what's going on here.
This is actually a very short question. It's for Sonny. Do you see yourself finishing your career at Spurs?
That's a deep question. Yeah, football, to be fair, we never know the future. To be fair, got a state contract here, been almost 10 years. You can't imagine how happy I am here. And yeah, football, but you never know. I'm just fully focused on for this season. Just want to win. And want to see, even one day when I leave this club, I want to see you all smiling and just calling legend of this club.
He's already a Tottenham legend. 100%. 100%. He doesn't need to prove anything. Heung-min Son. He's already a Tottenham legend. But it's going to be a difficult day when he leaves the club. 100%. Hopefully not for a few years, because I still think he's got so much to give, and he's still one of the best attackers in the Premier League, in my opinion. So no need to start thinking about him leaving yet. But obviously, at 32, you have to start thinking about the future. But he's still got a few years left in him, in my opinion. I still think he's, doing so well. Let's see what other people have sent. This one from Football Confidential says, Tottenham chairman on the criticism. He says, I have very thick skin. I just ignore it. Just makes me want to be more successful. The reason why I don't really like that response from Daniel Levy, to be honest, it depends on what he's talking about. If he's talking about people in the stands who go, F Levy, you're this, you're that, and just, shout, random things at him and abusive words at him, and just because they want to show their frustration, then I agree with that quote totally, wholeheartedly. Like, thick skin and just ignore it. Like, don't need to listen to it. But when people are pointing out valid criticisms of not just from the footballing side, whether it's spending money in the wrong ways or not enough money, all this kind of stuff, or whether it be how he runs the club, restricting concessions for the seniors and or stuff like that, or the tickets costing too much money. I don't think just ignoring it is the right approach. I think that's kind of like approach of like a dictator in a way, just ignoring criticism and not addressing any of it, and not feel like you're not kind of beholden to the fans of the club. At the end of the day, he's a custodian of the football club, and he should be, at least in some part, be willing to address some certain criticisms that fans make. Now, some criticisms are not fair or not valid, and maybe those can be ignored. But when there are some criticisms that are well made and are valid and should be addressed, I think sometimes, a lot of the time, he doesn't address them. He goes hiding a bit. So I definitely think that's part of the reason I don't really like that answer from Daniel Levy, because I think just say, because he's kind of insinuating all criticism is just abuse and all of it is just unwarranted, and he's the perfect chairman. So anything that could be said to criticize him, he just ignores, and I have a very thick skin. Like, sometimes you have to take some criticism on the chin, and sometimes you should address the fact of people who've criticized you and explain decisions and things like that. But he won't do that. But I didn't like that answer too much, because it insinuates something about the people criticizing him. I wanted to, one sec. I'm happy we signed, what's this? I'm happy we signed Solanke. He suits us, but in the summer window, we were crying out for at least one top quality experience winger, which was our big issue in January. If possible, we still need to address this issue. I do agree. I do agree with that. I think we definitely do need a winger. I think a top class winger is definitely in the offing. I think the big disappointment about the window, I think if you swap out Werner for a top-class winger, then all of a sudden the window has a very different look to it. For me, I don't mind signing someone like Odegaard, who's a young up-and-coming winger who's got real potential and can really grow in the future. But you've got to marry that with real top-class quality. And if we were looking to sign a second winger, that is. And signing Werner on loan, what the big... if I was at that fan forum, my question would be to Ange and maybe to Lange, who was there. Why did you sign Werner on loan? Not in terms of why did you sign Werner at all, in terms of the player. Like, if you wanted Werner, he was available for about 15 million, cheap as chips. You could have got him permanently for really cheap. So why did you sign him on loan for a year? Is it because you weren't convinced by him? If you're not convinced by him, why are you signing him at all? If you are convinced by him, you think he's a really good player and a really good player for Tottenham, why are you only loaning him? Why are you only signing him on a 1-year loan? You signed him on loan last year. If you're saying you want to take a good look at him and you want to kind of give him a chance to improve or not improve, like prove himself? Or what was the 6-month loan for last season? Was that not that chance? Not saying he didn't do okay last season. I thought he was all right last season, but was he good enough? Was he good enough to sign permanently, or was he good enough to tell me he was going to move Tottenham to the next level? I didn't think so. I don't mind if we signed Werner on loan in the Odegaard role and then signed another top-class winger, but we didn't do that. We signed Odegaard, and then we signed Werner as our kind of like, experienced winger signing. So why only sign him on loan? That's what I would ask him, and I would be very interested to hear their answer as why they only loaned Werner, not permanent, if they really wanted him. That Crystal Gomez says, let's hope it's a stopgap, and for someone they are waiting. I mean, I hope so, but I'm sick of waiting for stopgaps, to be honest. If I'm being brutally honest with you, we had a stopgap of Longley, and that didn't work out. Like, I mean, there are wingers out there that we could like Bakayoko. There are wingers out there who we could have signed, and I don't see why in a year's time there's going to be more on the market than there was this summer. So I don't really buy that. And also, a big reason I don't buy that as well is because we signed him in like July or June, like really early on. So we didn't even know the state of the market when we signed him. We signed him as if it was a priority, as if it was like one of our first choices. So I don't think Ange or the recruitment team go that hard that quickly for him, unless it was something we were convinced that we wanted to do. And I don't think you make a decision. Okay, we're going to get a stopgap come June or July. I think late August. Let's say we've filled out the winger markets and there's not many wingers available, and we go, okay, you know what? The right person is not available, so we'll just go Werner on loan for a year, and then next year we can do it. But we didn't do that. We didn't even see who was available. We went straight for Werner as soon as the season ended. So that I don't buy that it's a stopgap. I'm not saying he's going to sign because he's only on loan for a reason, but I don't like the stopgap argument because when we didn't treat this deal like a stopgap. What else does anyone put on Twitter? By the way, I do love that I posted, because obviously Arsenal fans are very much celebrating their victory or draw against Man City on Sunday. Look, it's a good point, don't get me wrong. All I did was there was these tweets kind of celebrating the draw as a really good point, because it was unbelievable they got this point with all these players missing. But all I did was point out that we got a draw at the Etihad with Emerson and Van de Ven at centre back. So Emerson and Davis as centre back. Brian Hill left wing. No Maddison, no Bentancur, no Romero, no Van de Ven. Host of injuries, and we got a free, and we didn't part of the bus, and we got a free draw, and it wasn't like this monumental thing. It was just we got a draw at the Etihad, but will someone Arsenal get a draw at the Etihad with one starter missing? It's like this heroic occasion. That's all I kind of pointed out. That is it that special to get a point in the Etihad? Like a lot of teams have done it. And I have got so many salty goonies in my comments. They're just absolutely rattled. Absolutely rattled, these Arsenal fans. They can't take it. I've just pointed out we also got a draw in the Etihad, maybe in more difficult circumstances, you could argue. And they didn't like it. They did not like that at all. Look how many quote retweets this is. They got I don't know how many, but it's all Arsenal fans just being absolutely rattled. Absolutely rattled. But I love it. I love it. They are rattled. They're still very insecure. Well, I just pointed out, we also had difficult circumstances when we got our draw at the Etihad, and it wasn't that big of a deal. But they had to. They don't like that. They're very insecure about that. But I thought that was quite funny. Okay. Let's see this. Anyone mention Timo got a preseason? I don't know what that means. always stopgap and the future when can be demanded of top players. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think we've needed a top winger, and it is very disappointing that we didn't get one. Wanted to look at, let's see, I've got some tweets that I liked here. We can, I guess, take a look at. By the way, did any of you, I want to know if any of you guys saw the Twitter account that everyone thinks is Ange? Because you know how Ange was talking in his press conference. He said, Ange said in his press conference, he used to be on Twitter and he kind of likes the Twitter tacticos, and he likes and he thought there was a lot of smart young people on that platform. He said about talking about football and about tactics and stuff. So people have kind of gone into Twitter and found this account called Reversible, and a lot of people think he might be Ange. He says he tweeted in 2015, might I add, this guy tweeted, a few years back, I had a fantastic idea where the fullbacks would go into midfield in attack and two proper wingers would always stay high. I mean, that does sound like Ange. There's more evidence here. He says, just hope Barso don't come in for him, mate. He says, mate. He used the word mate. Is this Ange? Have we found Ange's Twitter? This guy uses mate. He wants inverted fullbacks. He wants the wingers to stay high. No point. He's talking shit about Mourinho because he was a defensive manager. Nothing in having thoughts about Spurs. Absolutely nothing under Mourinho so far. I mean, that sounds like something Ange would say. Is this guy Ange? Apparently, this is a little screen record of all the times he used mate in all his tweets. This is going back to 2014. This is like a decade ago. Like, is this Ange? Have we found Ange's Twitter? In one of the tweets, he said he really rates Solanke as a striker. Like, he thinks that Solanke's a really good target man. Look how much he uses mate. This guy's got to be an Aussie, even if he's not Ange. He's got to be an Aussie. Looking good here, not quite. De Rossi, Di Michelis was good, mate. I mean, that's a lot of mates. I don't know if have we found Ange? Do you think? I wish Carroll was my mate. Now that makes me think it's not Ange. Ange wouldn't say something like that. No, I can't. I just can't imagine Ange using Twitter like this, like just replying to people and stuff like that. Surely Ange isn't the type of person to do it. But he did use Twitter. He said he used Twitter and he used to be a fan of the football tacticos. Let's see. He joined in 2012. Let's see if we can find anything else from him. Do we think this is Ange? What if I control F? Solanke. Did you say something about Solanke? No, I can't find it. What do we think, guys? Do we think Ange has been found? His old Twitter account has been unlocked. He said he doesn't use it anymore. This account has been inactive since, 2022. So he's Celtic manager. Is this inactive about the time he said he stopped using it? Musiala, the new Aymar. Let's see, Sharky, so he retweeted a Spurs. Let's see this. No, I don't know. So Messi. I don't know. I don't know if we found Ange. It's inconclusive. We Are Spurs TV says, I think it's him. Detective Sim, says Davis. I don't know, David. I'm not the one who found it, but I'm just. I wanna. How do I do like an advanced search? I want to search more things about this account because it's just suspiciously Ange. Let's see this. Great fluidity by Firmino and Bernardo to find roles from Cristiano Jota and Gundogan Fodor hijacking their roles. He's very tactical, whoever this guy is. I don't know. I don't have time to go through all. He's mentioning Kulusevski. Teams have gone switch from left to right wingers. He mentioned Decky. Also, he said that Bentancur. He said something about Bentancur. He said Bentancur was like one of his favorite players or something. He said Bentancur was one of the best midfielders in Europe. I don't know, guys. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think. If we go, I want to go through this crown reverse ball, and I want to know if you guys think it's Ange. Do we think it's Ange? Right. What else have we got here? That was a funny one. Talking about Gareth Bale playing on the Wimbledon pitch. This is a good point. You know, I think obviously he's being facetious here, Max Spurs Lord, but I think he does make a good point here in terms of Vicario came under a lot of criticism, didn't he, for the goal against Arsenal, one for some set pieces. But you look here, like Edison had the same troubles of they conceded. They don't come under the same. He doesn't come under the same criticism as Vicario for struggling to deal with the Arsenal set piece. And I think maybe, in hindsight, looking at how Edison is considered one of the best keepers in the league, struggled. Maybe we should be giving Vicario a bit more grace as to why he struggled. Because look, in this instance here, he's surrounded by two players, Edison. There's two players just preventing him from getting to the ball and jumping. Like, surely the Man City players have got to be helping him out there. And I think the same can be said for Vicario and Spurs. So maybe a lot of people being a bit harsh on Vicario, I would say, potentially, based in hindsight. Or you could argue Edison should be doing better as well. And that's one of his flaws. Premier League clubs have sent concerns about gamesmanship and Arsenal repeated use of the dark arts throughout last season to the PGMOL. Well, it doesn't surprise me. They're classless. This is a team who they like to find little. I think they like to use little advantages throughout the game, and they've been like that for forever. Arsenal always have lacked class. People call them classy. I'm sorry. Perez was a massive diver. Henry was a big diver. Vieira was an absolute arsehole. He got sent off on multiple occasions. He was always getting in people's faces. These Arsenal have never had any class. They've always been a classless team. And it's about time the Premier League deal with them. Send them back to South London where they belong. Send them back down the division. They should never have been promoted. We all know that. They've always lacked class, Arsenal. Arteta is the leader of that. I think he demands a lack of classness from his team. So it doesn't surprise me that PGMOL have the Premier League clubs sent concerns over their gamesmanship, but why don't they do anything about it? I love it. I do love it though that they're the kings of the dark arts or whatever. But as soon as referees start calling them out on their bullshit, they start crying that the referees are against them. I'm sorry, all this bullshit. All of a sudden, I don't understand, right? Why? Just because Arsenal are the ones wasting time and kicking the ball away, that all of a sudden this kicking the ball away is a big issue. That shouldn't be a yellow card. And slowing the game down. Oh, it shouldn't be a yellow card because it's Arsenal. That's why. I don't understand. You shouldn't be allowed. Why should you all of a sudden just be allowed to do it? Just because Arsenal players are stupid enough to do it on a yellow card. You're kicking the ball away. You're slowing the game down. You know what you're doing. You're stopping the opposition, taking quick free kicks, or you're stopping the opposition. You're slowing the game down so you can get in position and you can get a set in your defensive structure, all that kind of stuff. And I understand that it works. That's why you do it. But I don't understand why people are now jumping on this bandwagon that because Arsenal have had two men sent off, it's a ridiculous thing. What's going on? How can you be sending players off for kicking the ball away? Well, don't kick the ball away when you're on a yellow card. It's brain dead thing to do. It's stupid. And why should you be allowed to slow the game down? Who do you think you are? Why should you allowed to have these gamesmanship? Why should you be allowed? Why should the referee play into your hands? Why should you be allowed to do all this stuff? Like, I think it's absolute. The fact that Arsenal think they got robbed on Sunday when actually Man City are the ones who got robbed with that equaliser when Kyle Walker's been called over by the referee. And then while he's walking back from talking to the referee allows him to take a quick free kick. I think it's an absolute disgrace, actually. I think it's an absolute disgrace, Michael Oliver, in that situation. So the fact that the Arsenal think the referee was on City side, I think it's ridiculous. I think Arsenal need to grow up, stop whining. Arteta's the biggest whiner. He's a crybaby. All he acts like he's a manager who's won. He acts like he's a manager in a 4-peat. And I don't understand why any fan at the moment is looking at this situation and think and have sympathy with Arsenal because they're getting men sent off, and not because they're the ones who always play up these gamesmanship elements of their team, and they're always ones who are looking to get little edges. And when it goes against them, they start crying because referees are enforcing the law. Grow up here, honestly. Grow up, these Arsenal players. Don't kick the ball away on yellow. It's that simple. How about don't slow the game down when you're on yellow? I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. I don't understand why. So what do people want? Do people want teams to be allowed to slow the game down? And people want teams to be allowed to deploy gamesmanship. Is that what they want? Or were we sick of that stuff? Are we sick of teams taking a minute over goal kicks and a minute over throw-ins? And we wanted a way to stop that happening. So we decided to punish these people for slowing the game down. So we actually get more good football. And we actually get more goals and more incident and more action. But no, people all of a sudden, because Arsenal are the ones who are slowing the game down and being stupid about it, all of a sudden, it's a big problem that the referees are doing this. I don't think so. Actually, I think it's a good thing the referees are doing this. And yes, this might come back to bite me in the future if a Spurs player gets an off, but I would say if you're a Spurs player and if you're on a yellow card, don't kick the ball away. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. Off the ball on Rodri to injure him pissed me off the most as well. They clearly targeted Rodri. I think they clearly went out to stop him or injure him, I think. And they got what they wanted, and now he's going to be out for the season, which is a big problem. I really hope someone stops Arsenal winning the league. I guess it's going to have to be us. Have we seen this? This is from the Spurs. Is she the one? Jeez, wait, let's go back to that. Vic, Jesus, that's what you call a glow up. Look at Vic with long hair. Maybe he could grow that hair back.
Can you sign in? Nah.
What is that? Was he at Girona then? Girona? It was a long time ago.
Oh my God.
Blonde Brennan. I definitely noticed he's got a bigger smile this time.
Let me sign this one. It's a legendary picture. You see everybody working and I'm taking pictures.
And we all at Swansea we had to do a crossbar challenge and the loser had to drive the car for a week. That was the pink Ferrari.
Proper baby face that.
Ah, him with a test. Chav Matters. Look at that, the double earrings.
Seamless trend as well. I had no idea. The earrings as well, the double earrings.
Do you mind signing this? No.
Oh, I feel bad for Werner now. He doesn't look happy, does he? I hope it's not because he's getting a lot of shit from the fans. Whoa. You know what? You could have shown me that picture, and I don't think I would have known that was Ferguson. I don't think I would have guessed that was Dragusin. Actually, I wouldn't be able to tell, I don't think. Wow.
Wow. 15 maybe.
There you have it. Spurs players when they were younger. Yeah, no, Naomi King. Let's get that picture back up. That is Radu. That is Radu Dragusin. How? That's mental. He has changed a lot. He said he was 15 in that picture. He has changed a lot. Well, I'm 36 and I don't like the rule change. First of all, it's always been a rule, kicking the ball away as a yellow card or delaying the restart. What don't you like about it? So do you think teams and players should be allowed to just delay the restart and shouldn't be punished for it? Is that your position? I'm trying to work out what people want. Do people want the game to be slow and boring and teams to just take a minute from every action and waste time? Is that what people want, or do you want people to be punished for that rule? Takes time to build relationships on the pitch. Son and partnership, which was best in the first season with Conte, was built over years. Hopefully, he can build that with Solanke. Yeah, true. And also, Solanke was the one who put him through, wasn't he, for the chance that he missed? So maybe there's signs of that relationship building. Is that Roseanne from American sitcom? No, I'm saying the rule change with corner kicks. What rule change with corner kicks? What rule change with corner kicks you saying? You mean the one with the keepers? Sim and Chill, my favorite late night show. Big up to you, Martin. Hopefully we'll bring it to you a lot more often. I wanted to look at actually. I don't like that you can put the ball outside the semicircle, just touching the line. Oh, that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. That doesn't bother me. I wanted to look at actually what will be the scores tonight. Actually, I'm guessing all the Premier League teams are winning. There's Carabao Cup tonight. Let's see some of the scores. Give you a live score update. So Villa 2-0 against Wickham. City beat Watford only 2-1. Really, that was a close game. Chelsea beat Barrow 5-0. There you have it. All the big guns are pretty much through then. No surprises. And Kunku hat-trick tonight. People was I think looking. I wanted to look at the Brentford game because a lot of people. Let's see this one second. A lot of people have been talking about how we changed the positioning of our players in attack. Like Doggy was a bit wider, Son was more central. So I wanted to kind of look at that, put that to the test. So let's take a look at if it's actually true, because I think it wasn't more to do with a positional change. It was more to do with how we played in terms of how we approached the game. It wasn't all about keeping possession. It was more about pressing. Brentford, making more transitions and getting Son and Johnson into space rather than having them more central. So that's what I thought. But people, because we saw them in more central areas, people thought that was a change to get them more central. Well, let's see. So this was the team. Let's see if I go bigger. Does that go bigger? No. Let's zoom in a bit. This was the team against Brentford. Here's the average position. So Son's there, a bit tucked in. Yeah, see, but as you see here, is his heat map. Not that central. I mean, it's still pretty much on the left. The doggy. There you go. I mean, that's still pretty inverted. That's still pretty central, to be honest. That is a heat map I would expect to see for an inverted fullback, in my opinion. I don't think that's too different. But I'll take a look at what he did in the other games. Sim going screenshots in morbid silent result. Big up to you, Davo. See, Porro, that's maybe a bit wider, potentially, but still fairly inverted. Brennan, see, that's a bit of a difference. You see Brennan getting in the penalty box a bit more, but still fairly wide. So let's compare that to what we saw, let's say, against Arsenal, which was a similar selection. So against Arsenal, see, look, very similar. Son, I mean, but look, his average position's quite central, albeit, yes, maybe a tiny bit. So if we're comparing that to what we saw against Brentford, I mean, he's a bit wider here, I guess, but not that much wider. I guess there was a bit more touches in this kind of area against Brentford, but still fairly wide. The doggy, very similar to what we saw against Brentford. I mean, mostly on the left, but a bit of central area here in the attacking third. The position doesn't seem to change that much. Brennan, it's actually very similar heat map to what we saw against Brentford as well. It actually touches the ball quite a bit in the penalty area here, quite far out wide. Porro, it's actually a bit wider, I would say, here against Arsenal, but very similar. Let's see against Newcastle. I think they're all playing a similar position. The doggy, his heat map. Oh, it's doggy, pretty similar. Maybe a bit more inverted in this one, but pretty similar to what we've seen. A bit more concentration up the pitch, I would say. But look at Son again. I mean, Son, his heat map. This one's a bit more central, I guess, but still quite concentrated out wide. His average position's fairly central. But again, yeah, I guess my point, he's been trying to pick up a bit more central roles. Porro, very concentrated over here. And Odebear's a bit different because he's been stuck wide, hasn't gotten to the penalty area. But do you see, I guess, do you see my point? Like, everyone's been saying, everyone's saying that he made a big concerted effort to get doggy wider and Son more central. But I don't know, I'm looking at the, look, that's very central. I'm looking at the positions. That doesn't seem to be the case. And in fact, he's quite wide here, Son. I just think the big difference in this one was when we weren't concentrating as much as dominating possession. One sec, just joined, but I thought Mad was approving the width up the left in the last game more than the doggy, more crossing from Madders. Well, let's see Madders. So Madders, yeah, that's quite wide from Madders, to be honest. Decky as well. It's fairly wide, a bit more central, but fairly wide. Solanke, a bit everywhere. So yeah, Madders, that might be something new. So let's see what he had compared to him to what he did against Arsenal. Let's see his average position here. So Madders. So this is a bit more central. Against Brentford, it was a bit more over here. Not really many concentration wide. So definitely Madders was a concerted effort to get a bit wider. That seems definitely to be true. Decky seems... no, actually, he's definitely more central here, I would say, than the Brentford game. Or if I look at the new... You can't really look at Decky in the Newcastle game because he's playing up front. If I look at Madders, where he was kind of playing in the Newcastle game... Yeah, much more central. So you compare that to the Brentford game, and he's a lot wider. So maybe there's a case there for Madders. He was definitely a bit wider. But I think a lot of people are pointing to the fullbacks being wider and the forwards being a bit more central. I just think they had more space in the central areas because we hit them in transition. And when we hit teams in transition, especially when teams are playing three at the back with wing backs half pitch, there's always going to be a bit more space in these kind of areas because we're going quickly, we're going direct, and we're not concentrating as much in just having a lot of possession and allowing teams to get back in their formation and us coming into low block. And once we come up against a low block, their spaces are only going to be literally over here because we've got the two inverted fullbacks, we've got the two number 8s, and then they're going to bring their midfielders and defenders to plug up the spaces. So that leaves Brennan over here and Son over here. But that's when we allowed teams to settle. And this one we didn't allow teams to settle. When we were pressing teams and we would catch them in this kind of area in the middle, then we would go very direct to Johnson and Son, and there would be the space there because we were being direct. And that's because we made the game transitional. And Son and Johnson are just very much better players when the game is transitional, when the game is in a low block. That's what that was the main difference. I wouldn't say the position of the players was the big difference. I would say the style of play, making it more transitional, that's what made the difference for me in this game compared to the other games. Let's see if we can learn anything from... Let's see if we can learn anything from... one sec. From some of the stats from the game. Let's go through them. Let's see. Because I want to see, because what we do know definitely, which I'll show you, is that we had a lot less possession in this game. So as you can see here, I hope that's easy to see. I'll zoom in actually. Oh, a bit too much. Zoom in. Yeah, so this is the Brentford game I'm going to highlight. As you can see, last for touches. More touches, a bit more touch than in our defensive penalty area. Least touches in the middle. That is the key, I think. The fact that we weren't so, I've just got it highlighted here. The fact we weren't so interested in having the ball in the middle of the park. When we got it, we went direct. We didn't waste time passing it around. As you can see, possession bottom by a massive country mile. There was less touches here, but the touches in the attacking third and the penalty area were similar to before. But the middle third was a lot less, a significant amount less, you can see. We weren't so bothered about having the ball in the middle. That was actually a key to making sure that we caught Brentford in transition and we were catching them in the space. Let's see, attempted dribbles, we attempted a bit less, as you can see there. Carries, less. We were just, because we weren't carrying the ball, we were getting the ball and playing it quickly, directly. Progressive distance, still less. Progressive carries was the highest. You see that? So carries was the lowest, but progressive carries was the highest. That's because we hit them in transition because there was more space. So because we weren't playing against low blocks, we weren't just carrying the ball aimlessly. What we're actually doing is carrying it with a purpose into space, because there was space, because we were hitting them in transition rather than hitting a low block each time. Carries into the final third. That's like midway, a bit on the lower end, into the penalty area top, because when we got to the penalty area, there was space. Sim, who is chill? You are chill. What are you chatting about? You guys are chill. That's what you are. Progressive passes received. So I think this does tell a story in possession here, because we've carried the ball a lot more in these other games, but they've been a bit aimless, because when you go to progressive carries, we're top in this game, even though it was the one with the least carries. That goes to show that we were carrying the ball into space and not up against low blocks. I want to see defensive action. I'm quite interested in this one. This is my process I go through, by the way. I like looking at all this. I don't know if this is boring for you, but this is kind of like the process I go through when I'm analysing what happened in games. So Brentford, we actually had the least tackles one in this one. Least tackles in defensive third, midway. So midfield third, the least, attacking third, second most though. That's quite interesting. So obviously it was a concerted effort to tackle them a bit higher up the pitch, but it was one of the least in the middle third. You know why? I can tell you why. I can actually tell you why, because we weren't concentrating on tackling. What we're concentrating on is this: interceptions. We were concentrating on cutting off passing lanes and making sure we're actually getting in between the man and the ball, and we're actually reading passes. Look at the difference there. And that is how you make a game transitional. It's not by waiting for a player to get the ball and tackle them. It's actually getting to the ball before the player is when they're being tackled. And so that is what makes the game transition when you're doing more interceptions, because you're getting the ball before it reaches the man, and that means it catches them off guard, and bam, you can go direct. And that is why we're seeing less tackles in midfield, because we're seeing a lot more interceptions, and that's what makes the game a lot more transitional. Let's see, dribblers tackled. We didn't tackle them as much when they were dribbling, because we didn't need to. So it's all very interesting. If we look at what Brentford did against us, they made a lot more tackles middle third. But look, they made, look how many tackles. See, look how many tackles they made in the attacking third and our attacking. Well, actually, no, that's not the point I'm trying to make. No, it goes against. We made a lot of points in the defensive third. Interceptions. Don't know if we can learn much from that, to be honest. See our passing. Look at that. It's nearly half what we did against Leicester, passing-wise. Nearly half. And the lowest by a long way. We didn't have to make so many passes. As I say, we weren't so interested in keeping possession. I reckon, let's see, so completed short passes lowest, medium passes lowest, long passes. See, we were going a lot more direct compared to maybe some other games. Key passes top though, because we had a lot more space to pass into, so it was always going to create more chances. Let's pass into the final third. It makes sense, because when we're dominating possession and we've got a lot of the ball, obviously there's going to be more passes into the final third than when we have 48% possession. But passing into the penalty area near the top. See, look at that. So less passes in the final third, but more passes in dangerous positions, and no crosses. Only one cross. Progressive passes. Only one cross. So we literally didn't really cross the ball in this one, because we didn't need to, because we had space to actually attack and get shots off in the penalty box. So I do think this is all. I don't know. To me, it's quite interesting. I don't know if I think these reasons here, from what I'm showing you, are the big changes that Ange made in this game. Not necessarily positioning of the players is my point. So I think that's quite interesting to look at. I would say post the Brentford game. Let's see. Let's hear more from Yedinak. Sim, are you going to United on Sunday? That's the plan. That is the plan. Really enjoyed yours and Saeed's travel vlog. So do you think it was Brentford's style of play that made us look good more than us changing our style? That's a good question, Davo. And we won't know that until the next games. I don't know if we've changed our style or not because we haven't had more evidence. We've only had one game. And we might have changed it. And maybe against United, we're going to have less possession. We're going to make it more transitional. But if we go up against United and it's low block again and it's 70% possession again, I'm not saying that means we'll lose. I'm just saying it means we haven't changed our style. Maybe it's because of how Brentford played rather than us. So I'm undecided on that just yet. We have to wait and see what we do against Man United. But definitely Brentford going man to man helped us. And the fact that we were able to wriggle away out of certain situations helped us. Call is connecting means the calls. I don't know what I mean. Hey Sim, let's get the win at Old Trafford. I reckon we'll do them 2-1. Vanage says, how you doing, Sim? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Ange will be more pragmatic if 1-0 up. Will be my 7th Spurs game, first away game. Big up to you, Connor. Come say hi if I see you. Davo says, right on. Big up to you, Davo. Always enjoy your contributions in the chat. Hope you're doing well. Let's see if there's anything else to react to. Oh, what's going on? Any other videos people want to react to? I haven't got anything lined up. Let me see. Oh, Real Madrid, 3-0 up against Alaves, and we got it back to 3-2. Oh, but it's full time now. What a shame. Oh, 2 late goals. Alaves nearly clawing it back. See if there's anything here. If not, after an hour and a half, I'm happy to end it. Hope you guys have enjoyed the stream. Sim, what do you make of all the fans who claim Big Ange is the problem? He's not the problem. I don't think Big Ange is the problem. Definitely not. I think I like the system. I like what he's trying to do. I do think his way of playing causes problems, but so does every way of playing. This is interesting. I haven't seen this yet. It's something on Twitter. Let's watch together. Let me see if I can get this up.
And as much as we crave success and we want success and we want to win things, no one greater than me, what comes first is the way we play. And I'm not going to deviate from that. So that means it's not going to be an easy road. And that means along the way that we're going to get tested and we're going to get questioned. But when success comes to this football club, and it will come, it'll be glorious because it'll be exactly the way the club wants it.
Yeah.
And as much as we crave success and we want success, we want to win things, no one greater than me, what comes first is the way we play. And
So where was the answer where people said that if we want to be pragmatic, don't we have to be more pragmatic because teams who win trophies a bit more pragmatic? He said, you're spot on, but that's not who we are or something. He didn't say that at all.
And as much as we crave success and we want to win things, no one greater than me, what comes first is the way we play. And I'm not going to deviate from that. So that means it's not going to be an easy road, and that means along the way that we're going to get tested and we're going to get questioned. But when success comes to this football club, and it will come, it'll be glorious.
Was
It'll
edited
be
out.
exactly the way the club wants it.
See, that's a great answer. See, that's very misleading. What this account says. As much as we want to say to the Spurs, that's implying like I don't care about success because as long as there's a Spurs way, then that's all I care about. But that's not what he said at all. He said there will be glory, there will be success, it will come, and when it happens, it's going to be glorious. So I hate that. I hate that account kind of misrepresented what he said. I'm unsettled by the fact keeps shaving off his. Oh, keeps. Well, I have put up there. Will it come back permanently? Do you want it to come back permanently? I prefer it, to be honest, but sometimes it gets too long and needs to be shaved. But I prefer it when I've got a little goatee and a moustache. I think my face looks better. But there you have it. Ange has a very strong point that come along with some intractable flaws. But I think he is a great cultural change at Spurs, if nothing else, as Jory says. That's true. I agree with that. I think the cultural change is important, and I think it's something we needed to go through, and that's going to take time to kind of change and implement into the team. And as you said, on the long run we're going to be questioned, all this kind of thing. That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right, and that's what's happening at the beginning of this season. But I love his full-on belief in himself, and that absolutely no deviation from his own belief. I do love that. So that gives me confidence that he knows what he's doing and he knows where things are going on and all that kind of stuff. And as much as I have my own opinions and I have my own what I think is right and whatever, he seems to know what he's doing, doesn't he? And we do seem to be on the right path, I think, in general. I like the way we play in general, to be honest. So I think, yes, we've had our struggles this season, and maybe there are some tactical tweaks he could be making. But I think in general, I like the way we played this season, and maybe we probably haven't got what we've deserved in terms of results. And if we had, then let's see this. A little quiz. Sim likes himself a strong. It's fine without the goatee, my mum says. I prefer a little bit of stubble on my face and a bit of moustache. My mum always wants me to shave it off. I don't know. That's my opinion. Thanks, Mum. That's Judy commenting. Thanks. Have you seen much of the PR stuff Porro has been doing lately? What PR stuff? What, you mean like a day in the life of Porro? I've seen that. That was quite good. I think a big chance I saw in Brentford versus others was a big change was that Porro wasn't taking inshallah shots from 30 yards. Yeah, that is true. He definitely had a few less shots. Should we do this, guys? Well, Spurs have just posted a Sporkle quiz. I do like Sporkle quizzes. Do you guys want to have a go at a Sporkle quiz? Let's see how many we can name. Let's see this. This is good. It's a bit long. Let's see. Where is it? He's been doing videos with Danny Aarons and Harry. Oh, I didn't see that. Has he? No, send me a link. I'll take a look. Haven't seen it. Jose Mourinho says, I'm a dip now. Big up to you, Jose. What do you reckon, guys? Can we get all 173? It's a bit nuts. I'm happy to give it a go, though. I'm happy to give it a go. See how many we can get. I like Sporkle, says Davo. Big up to you, Davo. Maybe not such a crazy one. Maybe not such a crazy one. Maybe let's see if we can get a less crazy one. Let's see. What other Tottenham ones they have? Tottenham Football League 11, Tournament Squads, Champions League 11. Can I name the Tottenham Champions League 11s? You know what I want a I want to do one of like results. Do they have results? I spelled it. Let's see. Do you reckon I can name all the results from 20910? What do we reckon? What do we reckon? I've got 10 minutes. I reckon. Can you name a player better than Ndombele? I can't. What's the quiz? Okay, I can zoom in here. Okay. Let's do this. I reckon I could do this. Liverpool was 2. Okay, Liverpool 2-1. Hull 5-1. 5-1, is it? Yeah, 5-1. 2-1 Spurs. What's going on here? Birmingham 2-1 Spurs, 3-1 United, 3-0 Chelsea, 0-3 Chelsea, 5-0 Tottenham. Bolton away was 2-2. Portsmouth away was 2-1 Spurs. Stoke, yeah, 2-1 Spurs. Wasn't it? Yeah, 2-1. Put Stoker at home, we lost 1-0. Arsenal away, 3-0 Arsenal. I don't know what way it does it. Sunderland at home, we won 2-0. Wigan at home, 9-1. Villa away, 1-1. Everton away, 1-1. Yeah. Oh no, 2-2. 2-2. Wolves at home, we lost 1-0. Man City at home, we won 3-0. Blackburn away, we won 2-0. Forest away, I think it was 0-0. West Ham at home, 2-0. Hull at home, 0-0. Liverpool away, I think we lost 2-0. Fulham at home, we won 3-1. Or was it 2-0? 2-0. Must have been 2-0. Oh, come on. I'm doing so well here. 2-0. Birmingham away, I think it was 1-1. Villa at home, 0-0. Wolves away, we lost 1-0. Wigan away, we won 3-0. Everton at home, we won 2-1. Blackburn at home, we won 3-1. Stoke away, we won 2-1. Portsmouth at home, we won 2-0. Sunderland away, we lost 3-1. Arsenal home, we won 2-1. Bale and Rose. We beat Chelsea at home 2-1. We lost to United away 3-1. Tottenham Bolton at home, we won 1-0. Man City away, we won 1-0. Peter Crouch. And last but not least, we lost 2-4 to Burnley. And bam! 6 minutes and 43 seconds. What do we think of that? I'm proud of that. Sensational. Your parents must be so proud. This is what I'm doing. Getting Sporkle in 6 minutes. That's what the my parents have raised. My mummy is in the chat. Gotta stop sharing this because apparently my thing keeps crashing. What's going on here? Sorry, I have to stop. My computer's bugging out. 1 sec, guys. There we go. We're back. That was amazing. We are very, very good points. Sorry, I'm going a bit slow. My computer can't handle the madness of what just happened. Donovan. Oh, Donovan. Where were we? I missed it. Which year was 09-10? Sim has an uncanny memory for match day. Yeah, I'm very good. Like, I can remember a lot of games. I love it when Sim goes autist mode. Yeah, it happens often. There was 2-2, Connor. Was it 0-0? I know it. The past will never beat the present. That does my head in. Do we really lose to Hull? We didn't. We drew 0-0 at home and won 5-1 away. Can't believe we're watching them do small quizzes. This is great. When I need your help, Dave, I'll let you know for the next Sporkle quiz. One of the worst games I saw Spurs. How to spend a fortune on crap ended 1-1. Daybreak. Big up to you. Diploma in the post. How do you have a memory for that? I don't know. It's just I can remember a lot of Spurs games. Do you make an effort to remember, or you just happen to remember? Most of them I just happen to remember, but I do like watching old Spurs games, to be honest. But yeah, it's not like I study the results. I just happen to remember a lot of them. Judy, your Sim's mum. Yes, she is. Are you religious, Sim? I'm not religious. But I am culturally Jewish. Who are you talking about? Who would do well at Tottenham? We all need supportive mums like Judy, says Graham Wallace. Very true. She's very supportive. You can be on my side for the pub trivia side. If it's on Spurs, then you're in the money. I don't know what my computer is really bugging out at this point. I might need to end the stream. We have been going for nearly 2 hours. Let me try and, I don't know what's going on. It's because maybe it's taking too much battery potentially. Chilling on Wednesday morning with Sim. Big up to you, Ren. Is it Wednesday morning, is it? Where you are? When you let me bring on comments now. Our brains remember things that interest us. Obviously, it's interesting. Makes sense. Absolutely right. Is Sim Rain Man too? Name a realistic player we could sign for each position. A realistic player we could sign for each position. I think goalkeepers. Who's a good goalkeeper right now? Who I like Spurs to sign? Who would be good? Who's good with his feet? Oh, I was going to say Mamadashvili, but he's gone to Liverpool, which is really annoying. Don't know what good goalkeepers are out there. None in the Premier League. I don't think I'd take. I mean, Verbruggen. I think Verbruggen maybe actually. I'd probably go with him. He's good. He's good. Right back. Who would I sign at right back? Who would I sign at right back? You know, it's going to take too long. I need a list of players. I can't think off the top of my head. All the right backs that'd be good for us. I'm good at dog stuff for trivia. Sim, do you think Spurs fans saying Ange doesn't adapt is a myth? Yeah, I do, actually, because I do think he adapts. He has a way of playing, and he has a. I think when people say Ange doesn't adapt, I think what they mean is like he doesn't go low block. He doesn't like change like this plan B where you're just counter-attacking or you're just like being compact and going to a low block and going long ball or stuff like that. Or even they mean like when we're struggling for a goal in the last 10 minutes, we don't just, lump long balls into the box to a big man, and which is like a plan B, or send people up. I actually think we do that when we are chasing a goal. Romero a lot of the time goes up and acts as like another target man. I think he does change formation a lot in game. Like he puts two up top. He has changed things like going from a 4-3-3 with a box to box and a 10 to 2 10s now with Decky Manson. That's a change I've seen. I do think he changes things. I do think he adapts. And he set pieces. We've adapted. We've changed how we deal with set pieces now. That's been a change as well. So I think there are things he changes and adapts. I just think first of all, things take time. You also got to give things time to not work so you can fix them, if you know what I mean. So like when you've come up with a plan and you're implementing it, you don't know whether it does. Just because it hasn't worked once doesn't mean it will never work. So you got to go with it again. And then once you know for sure, okay, this isn't working, then you change it. But people want him to change it like a lot earlier, but he wants to give his ideas time to breathe. So sometimes that leads to frustration when something's not working. End the stream, Sim. Why? You're done with me, Davo. Leon Bailey would be perfect for us. Vicario. He went with a 3 at the back at the end of the game last year. He did that. Yeah, he did do that a few times. It didn't work out, but he did do it a few times. Also, Decky up front in the 9. Decky is a striker. He did that as well. So I think he's been a bit adaptable. All right, looks like my computer is screwing up. So I'm going to end the stream. But look, appreciate everyone who joined this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to do more of these in the evening. Hopefully it'll be like more closer to games and I'll have more like things to point out. And let me know if you've enjoyed this stream. Let me know if you've enjoyed this kind of content, and we're going to maybe make some clips out of some of the stuff that happened on the stream as well. But let me know in the comments your feedback and what can make the stream better. I'll get the audio working for the next one. Maybe get a better camera, that kind of stuff. But I want to know what you guys think of this kind of content, this kind of stream, more just laid back, more kind of like informal. and we can go through things. And hopefully during the season, we can go through things more in depth, like more tactical stuff or more points that we want to discuss. I want to bring you guys on as well, some of this stream, like have you guys call in, or I can talk to you guys as well. But it's the first one, just kind of a tester, feeler, what people like. So let me know what you guys think, and we'll go forward with it. But appreciate you guys. We'll see you very, very soon. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.